I'm a girly girl who's been a huge participant in consumer culture, but I recently quit my job making $100,000 a year to be a stay-at-home wife. And while that comes with many positive changes, the biggest not so positive change has been the loss of my high disposable income. My husband very much supports me, and I'm not living with less than I need or less than I want, but I'm not going to frivolously spend money the way that I was doing before, especially not in this economy where it feels like everything has doubled in price over the last 5 years. So I am being much more specific about what I am purchasing and what I'm spending my money on every month. So with all of that being said, here are the 12 things that I will no longer be spending my money on as a girly housewife on a budget. Oh, and stick around and I'll tell you what I am still spending my money on. Let's start with the lashes, because I was getting my lashes done and filled every 2 weeks for about 2.5 years. And at the time, I absolutely loved the look. I love how it made me feel. I felt very pretty and very sexy. But now I just cannot justify the price of the fill every 2 weeks in addition to the amount of time that is required to maintain that look. And as a side note, I've been totally reinventing my style and I've been embracing a much more natural look. And so the lashes didn't fit in for quite a few reasons. And this also goes for hair extensions, brow laminations, the lip blushing, all of these services that you end up having to touch up every couple of weeks to couple of months, and they're quite expensive. So much power to all the women who do these things. They do look lovely, but just for me, I don't find the value in these services anymore. Okay, next up, facials. And while I love a good facial, I will be the first person to tell you that you feel very clean afterwards. I was not really seeing long-term results from these things, and maybe I needed to do them more frequently, but even just doing them once a month, that adds up to almost $2,000 a year after taxes and tip. And I need to see great results to be spending that much money on something. Okay, next up is getting my nails done every 2 weeks. I was such a big consumer of this when I was living in Los Angeles and when I was living in Miami. I would go get my fill pretty religiously, and I was doing the Biogel or Gel X, depending on when you asked me. And that got very expensive very quickly, especially because of the frequency which you need to go and get those updated. Now that I'm not living in a big city, I do not feel the need to do this at all. And also, I've realized how much better and healthier my nails have become since I've stopped, and so I really like that change. What I'm actually looking at doing now, and it's on my list to learn before the end of the year, is how to do my own nails, because I can just buy the curing device and the polishes myself. I actually like very neutral colors, and so I think over the long run I'm going to have healthier nails this way, and I'm going to save so much money. Also, hairstyles that require frequent maintenance. This one could not be me ever again. I used to get the highlights and I would have to get them touched up and updated every couple of months. This is once again so expensive once you factor in the tip, the taxes, and how often you have to do it every year to make it look good. I don't even think this is a requirement anymore because there's so many cute hairstyles you can get. You can get low lights, a balayage, where you don't have to maintain it every few months, and I just think it's better for so many reasons. Okay, don't come after me for this one, but Botox and filler. This is such a common part of many women's every quarterly routine, and it just adds up so quickly. These things are so expensive, and I really think that we overdo injectables in today's day and age. So I personally will not be spending any money on these this year, and probably not next year or the year after either. I don't think we need to start Botox in our 20s, and so I'm gonna be waiting on this one for sure. This one is probably the hardest for me, and that is not spending money on full-priced clothing unless I really need something, and not buying a whole new wardrobe for every vacation and every trip that I go on. I know that I do hauls a lot on this channel, but I am almost never paying full price for any of those clothes. I frequently shop on sale, and there's always a discount code that you can find online. Unnecessary makeup and skincare products, I am no longer buying these things. If I do not use a product on a frequent basis, I am not buying another one, and I am not just buying 5 different lip glosses because that's what I feel like doing that day. I am being very strategic about only buying the things I need and buying them when I need them. Okay, next up, and I could talk about this for genuinely a whole video, but I am not buying designer purses. And by that, I mean I am not going into Prada or Dior or Celine, and I am not buying a high-end designer purse right now because frankly, I don't find the value in them. I mean, I'm sure you guys heard that whole Dior scandal where they were making a bag for under $100 that they were selling for thousands of dollars. I believe it was one of their canvas totes, which again, I may just make a whole video on this because you should not be spending thousands of dollars on a canvas bag anyways, but I'm just so over high-end designer brands right now and the prices that they're charging for what are essentially very cheap products, the value is just not there for me. What I may buy instead is these mid-tier designer brands. I've been looking at Polen and a couple others like that, where you can buy what is a very pretty looking bag and it seems to be very well made for under $1,000. And I think that's a much better value right now at this point in time. Okay, I've mentioned this one before, but I am so done with alcohol. I will not be spending my money on alcohol, going out for drinks, or buying alcohol and bringing it home. That's just absolutely not where I'm at right now in life, and I don't even enjoy drinking. I feel better, my skin looks better, so many reasons, but enough said, I will not be spending my money on alcohol this year. Another thing that I will not be buying are ridiculous supplements. I was on Nutrafol for probably a year and a half, and each bottle is over $100. I was doing that because I thought it was helping my hair grow back, and it may have helped to some extent, but I didn't see enough of a boost for me to continue justifying the price of that. So I'm not doing any crazy collagen supplements. I am not doing Nutrafol. I'm just doing my daily multivitamins, and I feel pretty good just doing this. I'm also very much cutting back on the Uber Eats usage that I had been doing. Me and my husband were big consumers of Uber Eats for a while there. And now that I'm not working and I'm at home full time, there's absolutely no justification for me to not be cooking and saving us that money. Not to mention it's much healthier, and I really do enjoy cooking, and you get to make exactly what you want to eat. So it's just a win-win-win. Anything fun or optional that is purchased on buy now, pay later, please do not do this. If you cannot afford to buy a $300 dress and you're putting it on a buy now, pay later schedule, that is absolutely ridiculous. We should not be taking on consumer debt to buy clothing or anything that is not necessary. The only exception for this is if you are buying something that you need to have and it offers 0% APR. That is just good financial sense to put it on buy now, pay later in that case. Okay, so those were all the things I am no longer or not spending my money on, but let's talk about what I am spending my money on, because I am still, of course, spending some money. I do get my brows done every 6 weeks or so. I'm actually very much due for a brow session right now, but that being said, I love getting them cleaned up. It's just I'm not very good at doing it myself, and instead what I'll do is just tweeze them to keep them clean in between those sessions. I do also have a monthly wax membership for unlimited intimate waxes just to keep everything clean. I love that, and that's just a personal preference. I do also get a basic spa manicure and pedicure maybe every 2 months or so, just to clean up my cuticles and keep my nails looking healthy. And then in between I will cut and file them, and like I mentioned, I do plan on learning how to do my own gel manicures, so that will be a fun thing to take on in the future. I did mention I'm doing refills of my everyday products, so no duplicates there. I am also going to continue buying high quality, good pieces of clothing that I need only when I need them. That being said, I do a lot of hauls for this channel, and I'm not going to stop doing that. I mentioned I always shop on sale or with discount codes for those hauls, but I also think it's worth mentioning that I return about 90% of the clothes that I do order, so those hauls aren't nearly as financially damaging as they look. Okay, this one is maybe a guilty pleasure of mine, but I love going to the dentist 2 to 3 times a year for a good cleaning. I think this is also great preventative maintenance, and it will pay dividends in the future when I don't have cavities to fill, or I don't have to get a crown or a root canal or anything crazy like that. So I will definitely continue doing this one and spending my money on the dentist. Okay, and lastly, a nice gym. I love going to a nice gym because it makes me happy to go, and it encourages me to be more regular. If I dread going to the gym because it's dirty or it's not like a nice environment, then I'm not even going to use that membership. So I do very much justify and stand by spending a little bit more to go to a gym that you actually enjoy going to. Okay, that is all I have for you guys today. I hope you found this video interesting, and if you did, please like this video. It really helps out my channel. As always, I appreciate you guys watching, and I'll talk to you guys next time.